Hello everybody. Looks like my topic needs refreshing, so there we go. So welcome if you are joining the live stream for the first time. I am still working on my AMA plugin, and today I'm going to be using it to look at user roles and capabilities a little bit deeper. So I actually created this planning issue a while back, but I'm actually doing a workshop next week probably on this. I don't think I've created it yet, so that's fine. So the idea is that I'm going to be planning a series of tutorials around how to create and apply user roles, how to create, modify, remove capabilities, custom capabilities, checking user capabilities, and then capabilities and content types. So the first session is mostly going to be about roles and capabilities. And just how it all works and things like that. So for the plugin, where are we now? I don't need that anymore. Oh, my local dev site is down. That's why, because I turned it off. I think. Yes. So I use a system called Multipass for my local development environments. And I turned it off earlier today because I was testing something. So I just need to start up the server. And then I think I'm going to need to restart the web services because for some reason they break when the server restarts. I don't quite know why. There we go. I feel like the music is a bit loud. That's a bit better. All right. So where is my form? There it is. Did I disable the plugin? Possibly. Yes, looks like I may have done. Yay. Okay, and then let's search for the American Medical Association. WordPress test AMA. Why is that not working? Oh, there we go. So let's see if this still works. There's some questions. About gmail.com. It's still working. Yeah. All right. So when I originally started working on this, I created a guest author role that has read capabilities and then edit posts and delete posts. The problem with that, let me just delete the subscriber. I don't need the subscriber. So that's great. That gives you a role that you can apply And I'm going to set a new password just for this user for the sake of making my life easier. The problem with that is if I log out and I log in as guest author, that author can access posts as well, which I don't necessarily want. So really what I should do is apply the capabilities to the content type. But this is at least a good example of how to set up a custom role with specific permissions. Now, the one thing that I wanted to check, adding roles. See, this is interesting because the roles get added to... Okay, so let's start with making some notes. I want to first... So, okay. This is basically me working on my plugin, but also me wanting to prepare for my workshop. So my first series of notes is going to be introduction to roles and capabilities. I'll probably cover the first two. Adding capabilities. So you add capabilities to a role. You don't create capabilities. It's possible to add custom capabilities in your role. Moving. Get role use can, current use can. Okay. Why did I do that? Oh, that just takes you here. Okay. What I want to do... It's very big for some reason. That's on 140, that's why. 125. I don't know if you all can see that. Make it 125. I just found it quite big. Okay, so I want to have a look here. Users. Running. Oh, it's in the options table. Ah, interesting. Okay. User roles. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it stores the role with the name and the capabilities in the options table. Subscriber, contributor, author, editor. I'm in the wrong database. Illustrator, editor, author, contributor, subscriber, guest author. Okay. So does that mean that WordPress is just setting that up? Now, where would I find that? I'd like to see where these things happen. Probably around here somewhere. Probably in the setup or something. Bet you. Yeah, here we go. Populate roles. Okay, so that's in the schema.php file. And so it gets the role. Just get role do. Oh, just creates the role. And then it adds the capabilities to the role. So that's essentially what... Okay, so this is where all the capabilities get added. I wonder if there's a... Oh, there's some more. 2.1. Okay, so this obviously... This is so cool to dig into. Like this file is obviously DB structure and option values. So there's the database structure. When were roles added? Yeah, populate roles. Huh. Create the roles WordPress 2.0. So before that, it was just one user. I'm curious. Now I love diving into this kind of stuff. New user role system. I'm just checking my phone in case there's an important message. Okay. User roles. Okay, well that answers that question, I guess. Okay, so that's where they get set up. And then add cap obviously just updates the key with the roles. Okay. So that's cool to know. Schema.php, where's this? Includes. Admin includes. There, that should have been obvious. Okay, so I'm going to make a note of that. I like this kind of stuff because it helps me understand how this stuff works. These are roles introduced in WordPress 2.0. So it's going to be copy path. Version. Roles, creates roles. Okay. So to create a role, you use the add role function, which basically creates the role and then applies. You can apply capabilities to it. So let's say adding roles, removing roles. Okay, so we've added a role. And then it's worth noting that sequential calls will do nothing. In the notes, it actually talks here about hooking this onto the plugin activation. And we could maybe chat about, so let's make a note of that. When creating roles, it's best to do so on plugin activation. Role updates should happen an upgrade step. Okay. And then we can say creating a role needs a role, display name, and then an array of capabilities. And we'll say only use existing capabilities. I'm not too sure about that one, but I don't see anything where you could specify like Well, you could. You could probably create a specific capability. So what I could do, I wonder what would happen. Cool. I wonder what would happen if I remove this role. And then, because there's two ways you can do capabilities. Morning from Huntsville, Alabama. Morning. Hopefully not too early in the morning. So there's two ways I can do this, which I'm going to get to in the next session. But it should be possible to create a custom capability and then apply that. But because I'm doing custom post type, I should use the post types capabilities. So maybe we'll make a note about that. Let me just see here. Custom capabilities. Yeah, I'm going to just save this quickly. And then I'm going to how to create, modify, remove capabilities. So it should be how to add / remove capabilities. And then I'm going to do custom capabilities at the bottom. And I'm going to do a question mark. And I'm probably going to do that with the capabilities and content types thing. Yeah. So I think for my first workshop, I'm probably going to focus on what I've done here. And make it specific to something like posts. So the nice thing about this read, edit post, and delete post. So for example, you see I can't edit these posts. And I can't edit these because they're still things, but I can view these. That's interesting. I have edit posts, but I don't have delete posts. So I can't actually edit these. I can edit these though. Oh, that's because these are created by another user. These I created, that's why. That's cool, actually. So I think I'm going to go for the first example. So this one allows me to edit posts, but not edit other posts. So that actually kind of works for what I want. View, yeah, that's actually not. I can edit comments. No, I can't edit comments. Interesting. If I remember correctly, just having read to false means I can't actually access read false. I'll just log out here quickly. What's guest author? Password. Oh, I've got to run that again now, don't I? That's interesting. Okay, so let me... Okay, so to do that, I'm going to switch to... what am I doing? I'm there already. I'm going to switch to there. And run WP shell. And remove the guest author role. Remove role, simple role. That should remove the role. Okay, and now if I go WP list plugins, I think. No, WP plugins list. WP plugin. WP plugin list. WP plugin list. Ah, there we go. WP plugin deactivate. WP learn. Okay, that'll deactivate. Can't spell. Okay, and then if I reactivate it, then it should trigger the role. Okay. So now, if I try to log in as guest author, I don't have access to the dashboard, but I should be able to still post a question, I think. So let's go paul@gmail.com, question from Paul. That still works. And if I now log in here, I can't, how do I? Okay, so let's deactivate it and remove the author. It's a bit of a pain to kind of work around. So now that should be fine. And now that's... this is probably something's cached. There's a way you can... the caching is not disabled. I'm going to do it. And password. Okay, so now I'm logged in as the admin user. And Paul's question was, so that's cool. So read on the capability basically allows the user to log in. And if we set edit posts to true, it still means the user can create posts though. So it's not exactly ideal, but it kind of helps us explain how things work. So that might be a handy little thing to do. So let's make some notes here. So let's say setting the read role to true allows dashboard access. Setting the read false, but the edit post true allows REST API post access. So that's interesting. So that we can kind of refer to how that could be useful. And then we can show this sort of snippet and what it does. Show example role, ability snippet, and how it works. And then we can link folks to, I think in add role, there's a list here with all the roles. Yeah, here we go. There's this one as well. There's also the one from the schema doc. So that's cool. So I can go through all of that. We can talk about how you need to define your capabilities up front, because you can't change them unless you have a way of removing and adding the role. That's cool. Let's make notes of that. I've kind of made a note of that. Okay. Just log out here quickly. We run these again. Okay. I mean, we could chat about manually editing things. That's one option as well. See, what's interesting is you don't have anything for tools. You've only got your profile. Got the questions, which are just a custom post type, so that's why that's there. In the example, I won't have that. You can view comments, and you can view existing posts, add a new one. So this can be a guest author post. So I think the guest author is going to be a good example. Let's just save draft. Oh, you can't even, that's interesting. You can't even publish. You're going to submit for review. I like this. I like this as an option. So there it's submitted for review. There's the guest author post. Puts it in the pending mode. That's really cool. This is a cool example just to show like how these things work. Just by enabling edit posts and delete posts. The other thing to notice is there is no add posts capability. So if we have a look here, there is no add post. It's worth noting that. There is no add posts capability. I don't know why WordPress, it's interesting. I don't know why WordPress has that. I guess there's an assumption. Oh, you know why? Probably because you wouldn't, would you ever want somebody to be able to add a post but not edit it? No, you'd want them to be able to add it and edit it. So that's why there's edit and edit others posts. If we have a look at capabilities here. It's the edit others posts. So you edit posts, we'll be able to add an edit post, and then edit others posts will be able to edit posts of other users. So that would an administrator would have, or an editor would have, but a guest author wouldn't have. It's interesting. I've never really worked with user roles much. or at least custom ones. I've most of the stuff I've ever worked on is just use the default ones. So we've had administrators, and then we've had editors and whatever else, and I've never had to code custom roles. And when I worked at Seriously Simple Podcasting / Castos, the roles were already there. Was there a custom role? I think there were custom capabilities. I'm actually going to have a look. I'm not even sure where this is anymore. Pretty sure we had some custom capabilities somewhere, but for the life of me, I couldn't tell you where that code is. It's been so long since I worked on this. Roles handler. That would make sense. Yeah, we had podcast editor, podcast manager, and manage podcast. So there was a podcast editor role and a podcast manager role. And the roles could do various things. There were podcast caps. Oh, there we go. We created podcast capabilities. So edit podcast, read podcast, blah, blah, blah. And then added capabilities to edit podcast settings to admins and editors. That was a long time ago. I think this all happened on plugin installation, if I'm not mistaken. Again, it's been a while since I did this, but that should give us a good example of what we're doing. Okay. I'm not going to dive into the I'm wondering what else. We should probably do checking user capabilities. We've kind of already done that. Because this is a custom post type, it's using the default capabilities check anyway. But we can chat briefly about how that works. The downside to the way I've done this is that if somebody were to get the username and password for this thing, they would be able to, let me just find this code here. No, wrong one. Because what am I doing? I'm using the question endpoint. So anybody who came and posted a request to the post endpoint, if they managed to work out the username and password, would be able to create posts. Whereas I just want to lock this user down to questions, which I would do with the capabilities functionality on content types, which I'm going to do in the follow-up session. So that's actually cool. That means I can split this out and we can say topics will include, we'll say session 1, and then we'll say session 2. And so I'll focus on everything I focused on today in the first session, and we'll do a custom capabilities check as an example. And then the next session will specifically be about the capabilities functionality on a custom post type. Where you can basically, here it is, you can specify the capability type. By default, it creates 7 capabilities, and then if you specify the capabilities, where is it? The capabilities, an array of the capabilities. This I need to go through, so this will be next week. And then there's the map meta cap story, and it does a whole bunch of additional capabilities. So this I'm going to focus on next week in the live stream. And I'm going to use it to update the capabilities on the custom post type so that the user can only create questions. But I'm not going to have enough time for that today because it's like 15 minutes left of today's live stream. So I'm kind of at a loss because I could either end early. See, the problem is I should have only done this in today's session. It is what it is. If anybody's wondering, if anybody was here last week, I still haven't figured out how to get my actual React app live, which is annoying me. Anyway. Okay, I think my phone's buzzing. I think I'm going to call it a day here today. I've done everything I can think of in terms of planning for this. User roles, add and reuse capabilities, so we can add the read capability and show what that does. I need to find a better way to. What would be cool is if there's a better way to reset the capabilities. Other than build something into the example plugin that resets removes the role and resets it. Bit janky though. Hmm. Okay, let's do it this way. Let me steal some code from here. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, this one. There's an admin sub-menu page here somewhere. There. So, I'm going to have to create some custom code for all of this. But create an admin page to remove the user role. What we can just do here is just include that function in this callback and then just render a message to say done. It's a really sneaky way of implementing this kind of functionality, so why not? So let's just do a wrap. Let's do it like this. And here we can say, what is it? Remove role. Does it return true or false? It doesn't return anything. Okay, it doesn't return anything. That's fine. So we'll just assume it's removed. Okay, and we can just make this a paragraph. HP. We can get rid of that. So this is just a really sneaky way of removing that role. So let's log back in as admin. Okay. And now if we go to users, go to guest author, it doesn't have a role. And now we should be able to deactivate and reactivate this. And now we should have the ability to apply the guest author role with the required permissions. So that's one way we could do it. So I'm going to hook this code. I'm just going to stick this code in my notes. It's a really janky way of doing it. It's like a internal dashboard way, which is not great. My preferred way would be just to have this function somewhere and then call it from the command line. But not everybody has command line access, so we'll do something in the workshop that allows folks to do that. And then let's just say simple code to remove role. I mean, we could even use that code. Once we show how it activates, we could use that code, or I could use that code to re-add the role with the changes. That would actually be clever. So we'll start with just read. It's actually not a bad idea. Let's do that. yeah, so start with just read. Okay, so that's the plugin code. So let's remove user role removed. Okay, and then let's go back to the plugins. Let's deactivate. You know what we now if I apply guest author, see that works because it's still saved to the database for that user. So let me show you what I'm talking about there. User login, user ID. Oh wait, it's not that, it's the user meta, I think it is. Capabilities there. So it stores it in the capabilities meta key, and there it's guest author. So as long as I keep adding the guest author role, it's always going to update it. So now with that user there, if we log out and log in as guest author, we can access the dashboard because we've only set the permissions to read. So then if we log out, so then we take this code and we remove the role, and then we re-add the role, and we say edit posts. There. Okay, and then we go back and we log in as admin. And now if we remove it, so it's basically a reset. We can change that to reset. And we'll do lots of logging out and logging back in again, just to show the implications of the changes. And now I can do posts. I can edit posts because I'm the guest author, and I can edit questions, right? I can only edit my posts. That's perfect. And I can't delete posts. Oh, that's interesting. But then if we add, say, delete posts, so you don't actually have to say false. It'll be false by default. But then if you say, hang on, let me just check that. Yeah, I can't delete my post. Yeah. Okay, but then if we update and say delete posts, true. And then now we're going to have to do this login, logout loop. So we log out as the admin, and we remove the user role and reset it, and then log out as the admin, and then log in as the guest author. And now we can delete our posts. We still can't do anything with other posts. So then what we can do, and let's just change this with guest author role reset. So it's a guest author role reset. And now we can say edit others posts. Set that to true. So those are the 4 things that we could do in the workshop to show how making these changes affects things. And now we go through the loop again. So we log out, log in as admin, go back to the menu, let's change that. And reset user role, reset user role. I like that little process of kind of how we're going to do it. Reset, reset, and then we log out as admin, and we log in as guest. I'll make it guest author maybe, just guest username. And now if I go to posts, I can edit other posts. Oh, I can't edit publish posts. That's interesting. Didn't know that was going to happen. So I can edit my posts and I can edit other posts, but I can't publish. Oh, you know what? I probably need the publish post permission. So let's do that. So let's say publish posts. And that'll probably give me the ability to edit publish posts. Okay, so now we do the loop again. And I could make this easier on myself by allowing this user to manage options, but I'm not going to. Reset. Log out. Log in. No, wrong user. Guest. Author. And now, still can't. So it must be a capability that I'm not setting that needs to be set, which I'll have to figure out. I wonder which one that is. Publish, delete, publish, edit, publish. Oh, there's an edit published post one, probably. Edit published pages. Edit published posts. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's interesting. So edit others is only for when they're in draft. That's kind of cool, actually. So this is going to be a good example of getting to know all these capabilities, reading through the list and knowing what they all mean. Okay, so let's go through the logout login loop. Log out. I'm going to make these passwords super easy for the for the workshop. Log out. Guest author. I'm just going to make it like pass or something. And now I should be able to, yes, I can edit somebody else's posts. Perfect. Okay. So let's copy this out. In fact, let's copy this whole thing out. And we will use this. No man. In the workshop. I like it. Just a simple little example snippet. Which we'll use to kind of explain how all this works. Okay. That's cool. That's perfect, actually. All right. And that's on the hour. I found something to keep me busy for 15 minutes. Awesome. I feel much better about this workshop. This is going to be the first session, and then the second session I'll focus on custom post types, maybe custom taxonomies, and maybe even custom capabilities. But for the first week, I'm going to just focus on how to create and apply user roles, how to add and remove capabilities from a user role, and then how to check capabilities we can just cover in the current user can thing. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. That's me for today, folks. Have a great Tuesday.